What's up, guys? You're watching Everything Weapons. Welcome back to the channel. Some war news involving Russia, Ukraine. So the Ukrainians just struck the Russian ships in the Sea of Ovaz. The long-range drone attacks are targeting Russian oil tankers, adding to the nation's war-induced energy woes. Now, this is from the war zone. So Ukraine claims that 28 Russian vessels were hit by aerial drones in the Sea of Ovaz on Saturday. The strikes are the latest in a campaign that Ukrainian authorities assert has resulted in nearly 80 Russian vessels, ships, mostly so-called Shadow Fleet oil tankers, being attacked in that body of water on a daily basis since July 6th. As a result of these attacks, Russia temporarily stopped shipping through the Dan Azov Channel, a navigable waterway linking the Don River with the Sea of Ovaz, Reuters reported, citing 3 grain export industry sources. The move came after 13 Russian vessels, including 10 tankers, were attacked in this body of water on Friday. Market analysts noted to Reuters that about 25% of wheat exports from Russia, the world's largest exporter of grain, pass through the Sea of Ovaz. So the Sea of Ovaz campaign is part of a much wider Ukrainian efforts to isolate the Crimean Peninsula, as well as strike at Russia's energy infrastructure to damage its economy and reduce its ability to wage war. So these attacks are inflicting pain on Russian forces in Crimea, also often striking very deep into Russia. They are also having a devastating effect on fuel supplies across the country. In addition, the attacks are helping to halt and stop Moscow's gains and pave the way for Ukrainian advances. Overnight, on the 11th of July, the birds of the Unmanned Systems Forces hit 21 tankers, 4 tugs, 2 cargo vessels, and 1 special purpose vessel in the Sea of Ovaz. Ukraine's 414th Separate Unmanned Strike Aviation System Brigade, known as Magyar's Birds, stated on X, the cutting-edge unit is named for Ukraine's drone force commander, Robert Brovdy, also known as Magyar. In addition to striking the ships, Magyar's Birds claimed to also hit 53 legitimate military targets, were engaged deep inside the enemy's rear in Crimea and the southern part of the temporarily occupied territories, including fleet assets and energy infrastructure. Operation Crimea Switch-Off has no end date. The Shadow tanker fleet was engaged by drone pilots from a wide array of units, the brigade added. The technological humiliation of the empire continues, Magyar's Birds proclaimed. It will fall because of Crimea, they say. So, many videos have emerged on social medias showing the results of these attacks recently, and Magyar's Birds has released 6 compilations of them themselves on X. Now, the brigade began releasing videos of these strikes on the 6th of July. The first one shows 2 ships being hit in a compilation of videos showing strikes on targets, mostly on Crimea. The targets included S-400 air defense systems, radars, and an oil depot. The next day, on the 7th of July, Magyar's Birds released a video that opened a wide view of almost 24 tankers lined up in the Sea of Ovaz. The video then cuts to show several of those vessels and ships being struck and burning. The unit claimed 8 tankers, a cargo ship, and a ferry were hit. And then on the 8th of July, Magyar's Birds claimed 9 more Russian tankers were attacked. And Magyar's Birds released another video on the 9th, or on the 10th, sorry. And this claims the strikes were 10 tankers, a cargo vessel, a ferry, and a sea tug. Now, in addition to the videos released by the unit, others emerged on social media showing the aftermath of these attacks. And Magyar's Birds doesn't name the type of drones being used, but the video displays show they are from Firepoint, which makes several kamikaze drones, as well as the FP-5 Flamingo cruise missile. Roy Gardner, a former Canadian military officer who is part of the Defense Tech for Ukraine collective, is an expert on Ukrainian drone warfare, and he surmised that the attacks are done by the FP2 drone. It's the only UAV available in large numbers and with the range to carry out that much explosive, other than long-range AN-196, which is a lot more expensive and illogical to use for this mission, Gardiner says on X. Now, Firepoint co-owner Dennis recently told the Warzone that the company has increased the warhead of its FP2 strike drones to 200 kilometers, to 200 kilograms. A change in the wing design enabled the drone to achieve a flight range of up to 370 kilometers with those warheads, he says. And that range gives Ukrainian forces fire control over virtually all of the Sea of Azov, a body of water north of the Black Sea. And the videos indicate this is made possible by high-speed satellite data links, allowing for man-in-the-loop operations at great distances. This has enabled Ukraine's sea drones since their arrival, but the miniaturization of technology has now allowed for large-scale use on one-way attack munitions. Thank you guys very much for watching. Consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date with everything war and military related, not just with Russia, Ukraine, but all over the world. And I also make history, ranking, LARP videos, everything in between. So especially if you are new, make me happy. Most people aren't even subscribed, and yet they watch my videos. Kind of weird. Don't be a weirdo. It makes my day. Takes 2 seconds. Type a comment down below. Smash the like button. Take a look at the older videos on the channel. And until next time, you've been watching Everything Weapons. See you guys in my next video.